Hello, my name is Ciara Barnes. I'm an inner beauty pageant director and influencer. Since COVID-19, I've created a new pageant resource, Phoenix Pageant, and host this weekly RISE Though Pageantry webinar. I have over 10 years experience in the pageant industry as a contestant, judge, coordinator, and MC. I am the 2016 recipient of the Woman of the Year Award, Lifetime Presidential Award recipient, total Star Trek nerd, and I'm an entrepreneur. Along with my advertising and marketing degree, I'm currently finalizing my Bachelor's of Science in Feminist Studies and a minor in Black Studies from UC Santa Barbara. And I hold various certifications and Disney College Program graduation accolades. Now, the RISE Though Pageantry webinar premieres every Thursday live and is completely free. We talk on subjects of women empowerment, unlocking your personal power, accomplishing your dreams, and practical, real pageant tips and tricks. This was recorded on July 9th and proudly features this week's special guest, Jade Eilers, Miss Ohio High School America 2020. She's the youngest guest that has joined our show. This incredible queen is also an honor student, community advocate, active in volunteer service with her personal platform Brave and Bold, as well as others. This year, she was honored with the Golden Presidential Award for volunteer service, an incredible feat at any age, but she is still in high school. And this is the big one. She spoke at the United Nations on her platform, and that is just so inspiring. Currently, Jade is focusing on her reign, becoming a motivational speaker, as well as just enjoying time with friends and family before her college career begins. Now, without further ado, this week's theme is how to make the most out of your queen title and claim your power. Let the webinar begin.
Hello. Good to see you, beautiful girl. Look at that beautiful sash. Can you hold it up so we can see it?
Yes.
Oh, snap. You look so beautiful in it. It looks very natural on you, miss.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you doing today? How's your quarantine in July?
I'm doing amazing. I woke up at noon, which was great to catch up on sleep, so I'm feeling amazing. How about yourself?
You know what? I also got more hours of sleep last night than I normally do. So you and I are both like extremely well rested. That's so important, right?
For sure.
So I have some major questions for you, girl. I've been really excited to talk to you ever since I heard that you spoke at that level. Can you just right away tell me what that experience was like? Were you nervous at all? Was it old hat? What was running through your mind as you took the podium?
So I'm going to backtrack a little bit to when we were walking in to the UN. It was last year around this time, so I was 16. I'm now 17. But we were walking in, and right off the bat, there's like 5 different levels of security you have to go through. Like we couldn't even like go to the bathroom by ourselves without running into the security officer. It was crazy. But when we were walking into the General Assembly room where I was about to speak, I was with my mama, and I looked over and she'd been like a little bit quiet, and I was like, she's never quiet, something's up. I looked and she had like tears in her eyes, and I was like, girl, you cannot cry here. This is the big time. Like, you have to pull it together.
This is the big time.
I was like trying to like pull her together, but I was like ready. And then when I got up there, I was like shaking, and I have been performing. I've done theater for 10 years, but this was a little bit different. I was kind of getting in my head a little bit. I was so nervous, but at the end of the day, I was able to share an incredible message, and I'm so thankful for that opportunity. And I'm actually going back next year, so that's very exciting. Yeah,
that's awesome. How are you going to evolve your speech for like round 2? Are you performing the same speech or no?
So it's going to be a little bit different. As I grow and get older, I learn more things about my platform and have different areas that I want to hit on within the drug prevention topic. And so there's just different umbrella terms or different minor topics that I address. I'm going back again next year when everything's safe, because the United Nations headquarters are in New York City, and that's like a major hotspot right now.
Major.
And when I go back, I'm also receiving in person the Gold Presidential Service Award when I go back and give another speech. So not quite sure yet, but I know it's going to be amazing. So.
Yeah, it'll happen. And when it does, I will definitely be following you, because what an incredible, incredible opportunity. And if you were nervous, I couldn't really tell. I watched your video. I watched your video of the speech, and it's a really incredible topic. Performed very well, I'll say, especially for being 16 at the time. Oh my goodness. Oh my, and talking at such a level. I mean, the most practiced public speakers would be shaking in their boots. Only we're shaking in our high heels.
being 16, or at the time I was 16, and just being a teenager right now, I feel like there's so much negative stigma around teenagers and the choices they make and the things that they are unable to do. And so when I was speaking, I looked around the room and there were people taking notes when I was talking. And that to me was so empowering. Me at the time, 16 years old, and sharing my personal testimony about so many different important things to me, and knowing that I was making a real change with people from all around the world. That was just really empowering for me, knowing that I was able to make such a grand level change being so young.
Yeah, the scale of the impact
Yes,
was like,
yes, that's the word I was looking for.
Tell us about your current title. I would love to hear about that. And tell us about your pageant system and the message that it specifically is bringing to the pageant community.
My personal platform is called Bold and Brave, Building Our Lives Drug-Free and Building Respect and Values for Everyone. The Brave at the end is the national platform for the Miss High School America organization. And so I am currently Miss Ohio High School America, and I will be competing for the title of Miss High School America in September. If that Brave, the anti-bullying platform, is the national platform. For me, the thing that I've been able to tie into with my drug prevention message is the respect and values portion. So respecting and valuing yourself enough to say no to drugs and want to put high quality substances into your body.
With family and the relationship with addiction, can you talk about your personal experience and why you chose to like fuel that into your platform?
1 in 2 people know someone who's affected by someone else's addiction. It's something that is so prevalent, not just in America, but all over the world, is addiction. I was just one of those families that got torn apart by someone else's addiction. So for me, I haven't seen my biological father since I was 3 because of his drug addiction. It took away my father. It took away the first man who was supposed to love me. It was really, really hard. Turn your pain into your purpose, or turn your pain into your passion. And so I've done both. Growing up like that, you feel so alone. But when I go into schools and I make talks and I give my speeches, there are other people that have gone through what I'm going through. Letting other people know that they're not alone helps me feel not alone. I've been able to do so many amazing things with such a negative set of circumstances.
You said something very profound earlier that I thought was well beyond your years. You said vulnerability is strength.
Yes.
And I think that's so true. If you weren't vulnerable with what you want happen and living in the past, wanting it to be different, of course, but you really can't, life's a linear direction. So your choice is exactly what Phoenix Pageant is all about. Really. Pageants as a channel through which you can be vulnerable and you can be authentic and you can advocate in a way that makes you feel good. Because doesn't it feel good? Isn't it kind of almost therapeutic to advocate for
Yes, 110%.
Can you talk about, your feelings around your opportunities to go and talk about your platform? I think that's underrated.
Yeah, I actually don't think I've ever talked about this on like a podcast or anything like this before, so this is kind of fun. It's really weird, but like in the best type of way, because I am a daughter of a man who has an addiction. And so typically right off the bat, my set of statistics for how I'm going to grow up, how I'm going to advance in school, the relationships I have with people, the bar is already so low. And so for me to exceed expectations in every category of my way of life is so, it's weird because it's like, I don't know any different, but the odds are already stacked against me. But seeing my mom smile and hearing that she do it all over again because of the amazing things.
Who's a very cool lady, by the way. Her mom is an amazing momager.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's my contact for her, my phone, my momager.
In certain ways, in my opinion, pageant skills are kind of life skills. There's a reason that so many girls and people in pageantry end up succeeding and being these like really amazing people.
Yes.
I think it's because pageants teach this certain kind of thinking. And going off of that, I do want to give all of our viewers, our amazing viewers, what I promised in this particular week's webinar, which is 5 expert level pageant tips. And for these 5 tips, They're not going to be things that you could maybe your local pageant coach says this, but I hope that it will be new and novel, and one of these 5 might stick with you any competition that you're about to go into. It doesn't matter what kind of pageant system this is, because these are ways of thinking rather than pageant tips that's more like in your body and practical, which we need, by the way. Yeah. You need to practice your evening wear.
Sure, those heels can be a little bit tricky sometimes.
But these tips are mindsets. So the first pageant tip, if you out there viewing have a notebook, this would be the time to pull it out. The first expert level pageant tip is when you walk into a room, or alternatively, when you walk onto stage, don't think about what you want to get. I want to get approval. I want to get the crown. I want to get a high score. Instead, think about what you can leave and what you want everyone else to get from your presentation. So when you walk into the interview room, think, I want to leave people inspired and with like a calm energy, you know, maybe. Or if you walk up on stage and like, I want everyone here to leave with a little more knowledge about X, Y, or Z, and feel like I am an approachable person. I want them to leave feeling like good. So that's my first tip, is don't think about what you can have, what you want, but what you can give, you know, add value to whoever you're speaking with. Second expert level pageant tip is backstage, don't be afraid of doing weird stuff. And by that, I mean intuitive movement. So if you've got a coach, you know, different coaches have different things that you do, whether it be like setting your shoulders or opening up your arms and closing them so that you stand upright. You know, everyone has their own stuff. I would say don't underestimate intuitive movement. Like, I'm nervous, I gotta shake my hands. Just do it. Don't be afraid to do weird stuff backstage. Because if you hold the nervousness in because you're already worried about what people think backstage, you definitely won't succeed when you get on stage, because you're too worried about what people think. So don't be afraid of like doing weird stuff backstage. No one can see you. Even if a camera's back there, they'll be like, look at how relatable this girl is because she's so nervous. Just go for it. And then be the queen that you are when you're on stage. That's really important. And number 3, plan for the pageant earlier than you think you need to. I think that's kind of self-explanatory, but if you think you need 6 months, you need 8. If you think you need 8, you need a year. You need plenty of time. Okay, my last pageant tip, and then I left an extra space for your pageant tip. The last one that I prepared is learn one non-pageant thing at every pageant experience. So talk to people backstage, learn something that doesn't directly relate to, you know, performing or public speaking or volunteer work. Learn something else, you know. The girl next to you might be an expert in international relations between France and the United States, and now you'll understand that layer of international relations. You'll never know who you leave an impact on, and you've got to be open to pageant friends that you've never met before, people that are different from you, leaving an impact on you at the pageant competition, backstage, at rehearsal, at the Think Pink pajama party, you know, all these things. You've got to be open to learning things that aren't directly related to pageants, because that's a big part of where you grow in pageantry, oddly enough. And for my last expert pageant tip, I'm going to leave it up to you, Miss Jade. What do you have to say for us?
So for me, this is just my mindset right now, because my goal is like going for a national title, and I'm going to a national pageant. So for me, I love doing research. I'm like a super like nerdy kind of student, but that's like kind of on the low. But I love doing research, and I love seeing what works and what hasn't for the year and for the winners and things like that. But sometimes I can get in my head a little bit about, this person did this, I need to be just like them because they won. But I have recently learned from a really good friend of mine is you are not going to win if you're being someone else. And if you win being someone else, it doesn't really feel as good, because it's not you who won, it's that other girl that won. So really, it sounds cliche, and I know literally everyone and their mother says this, but be yourself, and don't be afraid to let yourself really shine, because at the end of the day, pageants are so subjective, and a different set of judges a different day really is all it takes for the difference between you and your first runner-up, or vice versa. So go in there being yourself and being confident and knowing that you are enough for that, and just being confident in your abilities, and don't try to be like anyone else.
All right, girl. Well, that's very profound. I think I'll definitely maybe turn that into an Instagram post, because that was pretty amazing. I've got a question for you though. You're so confident, you're so articulate. Do you ever have struggles thinking like, oh, everyone else is just a little bit better than me, I somehow got here? In practical terms, it's called imposter syndrome, but I'm not sure if you're familiar with that terminology, so I was just explaining it to you. It's when and doctors get it, doctors get like, oh, I don't know as much as everyone else. So it has nothing to do with practical skill. It's more of an internal monologue, but the world sends out a lot of messages. So what do you do to protect your heart against these messages that come from inside, maybe things people say about you? What is your self-care kind of routine to keep your heart strong?
So I definitely do get in my head about things and second guess things. I am a huge overthinker, and I know I could sit here and be like, no, I don't get insecure about anything, la da da da.
Right?
But I would be lying, and I think that would be a disservice because it's okay to be vulnerable and share how you really feel and what you go through. A lot of the times when I'm at the gym, I'll be like looking around and seeing things like that, and being like, oh, her arms look a lot better than mine. I got to work on that. But for me, it's recognizing how far you've come in whatever situation you have. So for me at the gym, or like if she's lifting more than me, my thing is I have lost 40 pounds, excuse me. And so I've lost 40 pounds.
That's incredible.
You might look at someone, but you have no idea where they're at in their journey, what's happening behind the scenes. So you might be on day 30 of your fitness journey, but they could be on day like 147.
Yeah.
And they at one time your arms could have looked like smaller or something like that. So for me, it's really just taking myself out of the situation where the negative energy is and recognizing what I have to offer, what I've done, and just having that be enough for me, because it can be really difficult in this age of self-comparison and social media, and everything is airbrushed and everything's glamorized, and you don't really know the truth when you look at someone or a picture or anything like that. So just recognizing how far I've come.
You're still a boss, and it's hard to remember that in the moment, but I think that's a really good idea. One recommendation I have for the viewers is keeping a journal of your accomplishments, because in the moment, it's hard to recognize the small steps that you're taking every single day.
My mom is so
amazing,
cute.
Mom.
Oh my gosh, love you, Shasha.
Yeah. Can you see why I wanted to talk to her, everybody? Do you understand now how incredible she is? The teen competition. So how is competing as a teen different from competing from a junior teen or a preteen or whatever those younger age categories are called in the system? If you were to transition into that, what would be an advice for someone that just now is seeing themselves as a teen competitor?
I think the main difference is the interview section. So I did pageants when I was a preteen, when I was a junior teen, and now I'm technically, I guess, in like a teen category. I think the main thing is you need to start having opinions that are thought out beyond, your own platform. Find out where you stand on your certain beliefs. And, as a title holder, there's so much going on in the world, and you need to be able to speak out about what's important to you and things like that. When you're a preteen or like in the princess category and you're a lot younger, it's kind of just like, oh, she's cute, she is graceful, and she's confident. It's not really so much about your opinions and things like that. It's not at all superficial, but it's just about confidence and things like that. But I think when you get older and you transition to these different categories, it's about how you will be able to be a spokesperson for this organization and for this pageant system. I think it's definitely more about the mind that's evolved and how you're able to speak out for things that are important to you. And that's the main difference. Is it's not just about being cute and confident. It's about being cute, confident, and put together and poised and intelligent. It's just, you evolve in things.
Yeah, you evolve or you rise.
Yes, you rise. Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun. I absolutely love talking about, the transformative element of pageantry. Because when people have an automatic judgment of pageantry, I'm like, do you realize that it's taught me critical thinking skills and taught me media literacy? And taught me how to see both sides or multiple sides, because most issues don't have two, they have multitudes. And, allowed a person like you at age 17, who's not even legal to vote yet, to be able to conceptualize the world in a very profound way. So props to you, girl. Can we have some hands up for this amazing queen?
Thank you.
Yes.
Also, just Oh, sorry. I just wanted to throw in there, like,
Yeah.
I just got a job as a host at a restaurant near me. But I went in for my interview and I was like, this is so easy because of pageants. And so it's just like so many people, even when they're older and things like that, get so in their head about interviews and all this stuff and like their resume. But I have had a resume and I've been interviewing since I was like 10. So it's
So
just like,
easy.
yes. And I think that it's such an advantage as well,
Yeah.
because so many people, they start doing mock interviews when they get into college, but I've been doing them
Too
since
late.
I've like been in 4th grade.
Yeah.
So it helps so much.
So much. So would you say interview is your favorite part of competition or a different one?
Yes, I love interview. I love talking to
Yes.
people and sharing the things that are important to me. And so I definitely think interview is my favorite. I love sharing what I've done and what I plan to do and things like that. Interview is my favorite. Plus, I love wearing my power outfits. They just make me feel like such a queen. So interview is great. But I love all of the different categories.
Do not underestimate the power of the feeling of the dress, the feeling of the crown, the feeling of the sash. I mean, pageant girls, if you are stuck at home and you are quarantined and if you are having a bad day, go put on your stuff. Go put on your stuff and do your hair and do your makeup and do a little mini photo shoot. You'll be amazed at how much better you feel. And I think it's representative, like this and this is representative of a system that you believe in, and it makes you feel a certain kind of way about it. My next question for you, Jade, is not on this list of questions, but I just wanted to ask you, are you going to start at like the county level or the town level, or are you just going to go straight for House of Representatives or the Senate? Or are you going to bypass that altogether and run for President of the United States right away?
Stop it. Oh my gosh. Fun fact, I really did want to be the president for about like a month, but I think that I am very non-confrontational and I like to have peace. And so if I went into politics, I feel like I would never get like a day of rest. No. And as much as I would love to be able to run the country and try to unite people and improve the overall way of living, I would not want death threats. I would not want my family to be targeted or anything like that. I do like to inform and help people in any way that I can. But I did think about politics.
Wonderful. I'm sure you did, which is why I asked. I'm like, this young girl has definitely thought about
yes,
but there's so many other ways to make an impact. You know, there's so many other ways to spread a message. I think you'll do amazing things with whatever you decide to do, and changing your mind every week or every hour or every 5 minutes of your age is totally normal. You'll be fine. Communications, advertising, HR is the field that I went into for one of my degrees, and it definitely won't stray you wrong. Anything that invests in understanding how people think and how people communicate is applicable to literally anything that you'll ever do. So keep that in mind. Not that you need advice from me, but that's my 2 cents. One comment for you I'd like you to respond to. It says from Instagram, I've known Jade and she's an amazing leader. I was wondering how you keep balancing everything that you do. How do you keep it all in balance?
So for me, I have to have my planner or my master calendar or anything like that. I put a lot of stuff in my notes in my phone and things like that, but time management is super important, and making a list of your different priorities. And I'm like a very big list person, and I am a visual learner, so I have to write everything out to be organized, but definitely invest in a planner, invest in a calendar. And as soon as something comes up, mark it down, write it down, because if I don't write it down, I'll forget it. And so it's really simple, but just staying organized in any way you can, and just knowing your priorities and knowing that it's okay to say no to doing things once in a while. It's a give and take. It's an ebb and flow. And so just finding your rhythm and finding your balance. It will take a little bit of trial and error, but invest in a planner.
There's really no secret to it from my experience of staying productive. All of the things that can be said about time management have already been said. It's just a matter of sticking to it. And if you're having a hard time sticking to it, if you're just now developing a system that you're trying to commit yourself to, every single time that you do anything that's positive in that direction, reward yourself a ton. Just like Jade said earlier, part of the confidence of knowing that you can do it is recognizing the times when you've already done it and giving yourself credit. Give yourself all of the credit in the world. Katrina says, I love this. I make lists too and use a daily planner.
So
Perfect.
way to go. Alicia says, Ciara, you are fantastic, by the way, and really supportive and a good listener and ask great questions. Thank you. I try. I really enjoy doing this. I hope you all enjoy listening. All right, Jade, do you have any other shout outs, and how can people follow your journey as you go on to nationals and I'm sure on to Save the World?
Thank you. So you can follow my Instagram at Miss Ohio High. Miss Ohio High. And that's basically where I post. I have a website. It's jadeeilers.com. I've got one of my autograph cards for nationals, but this is the link. It's a double E, so it can be tricky sometimes. But all of my other social medias are linked there and ways to get in contact with me. I would just love to give a shout out to you for having me, because this was such an incredible opportunity. And my mom and my amazing directors, the Chase family. Also, a main pageant promo that I want to showcase in here, how I got my start into pageantry, is the Miss America Girl pageant. So it's just in Ohio, but there's a prelim and then there is the state pageant, or there might not be a prelim. It was when I did it in like 2012, so they might have changed it, but that's really where I got my start. And that is the same director from that pageant as I am with my High School America director. So I just want to give a quick shout out to that.
Do you happen to have your crown anywhere close by? We'd love to see it if you do.
Of course. This is my crown. So it's one of those circular ones. So I've got my little clips that hang, and it's kind of tricky to get on, but I'll just like set it on top to get that.
Gorgeous. Well, girl, it's a natural fit, and you're such an amazing queen from the inside out, and I cannot wait to follow your journey, and I know you're going to do really amazing things. To everyone that watched live, thank you so much. To all of the pageant mamas out there, hello, and thank you for everything that you do. And for every small town director, you are the backbone. We love you so much. We respect everything that you do for us. And to my Heartshine family, my Phoenix pageant family, thank you for always being there for me and supporting me in these crazy ideas. And for Miss High School America and Miss Ohio High School America programs, thank you for allowing your amazing queen to come on Phoenix Pageant and provide such incredible value. She's an amazing spokesperson for your organization and just an incredible girl all around. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, Jade. And I'll talk to you real soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.